Hey, welcome to episode 114 of Awkwardly Awesome Podcast. Today I'm interviewing a guest I'm now really interviewing. Before I ramble about this, let me introduce my guest. And then I'll tell you more about what's going on today.
Today's guest, Jason W. Freeman.
So, to start with, I want you to consider this question. How often are you courteous to other people but downright unkind to yourself? How often are you courteous to other people but downright unkind to yourself? I love asking my podcast guests questions and listening closely to the answers. Oftentimes, one answer can open the door, to numerous questions I would have never considered asking otherwise, and hence a conversation is born. Yet it occurs to me that I could be much more intentional about applying the same courtesy and curiosity to my own life, asking which questions to ourselves can be powerful and even transformative. During this unique episode, I will be asking myself some questions I don't usually ask, and then take a step back to see what answers me, myself, and I come up with, and what unexpected doors these answers may open. I will also speculate as to why I'm so reluctant to ask myself these types of valuable questions. So, hello. This is so different for me. I've done 114 episodes with another guest on it, and what I am noticing right now is I love having a guest. I love having a conversation with another person, and of course you can make comments or ask questions, and please do this if you're so inclined. That'll help me a lot. But basically, I'm here for the next hour asking myself questions, and not to just hear myself talk, but I'm hoping this will give you and me a framework for asking ourselves deeper questions. How often do we take an hour just to question ourselves and have a conversation with ourselves? And by conversation, I mean having a constructive conversation with ourselves rather than just venting or going around and around in circles, thinking the same thoughts again and again. Yes, I've spent countless hours doing that. And there's a time and place for those things. Two is part of what we do as humans. Sometimes we vent to ourselves, and sometimes we go around and around in circles and think the same, often uncomfortable thoughts over and over again. But having a constructive conversation involves, or at least as I'm defining it today, it involves asking ourselves new questions and really giving ourselves time to answer. Before I get into that, I've noticed already that since I knew I was going to be just speaking on the podcast and didn't have a guest, I didn't take it as seriously. I waited longer than I would have to start to get everything ready to get on the show, and I even contemplated wearing a more comfortable shirt, because I'm like, it's just me talking. Why should I dress up? And so noticing where we do things for other people, but don't do the same things for ourselves. Like I have conversations and ask deep questions of people all the time, but I rarely do that for myself. Why do we so often give ourselves the short end of the stick when it comes to attention and kindness, and how can we change that? So before I ramble, which is also easy to do when I'm talking on my own, let me ask myself the first question. And it's important to note, very important to note, that I typed these questions out beforehand. I thought of them on two different occasions, and so I'm not in the random order. So I'm not expecting the questions as they come. And maybe if you try this yourself, do that, because if we are just thinking of questions as we go along, we're liable to just ask ourselves the same questions over and over again and not really get into deeper questions. I guess another thing which I didn't do, which would be amazing, is ask the people around you, ask the people you trust, hey, what questions do you think I should be asking myself? So first question, what can I do that will help me persist towards my dreams in the next year? And so I'll answer as kind of a brainstorm, not not sure what will come out. So I know from the past I have this pattern of going confidently towards what I want in life, and I guess really moving my shoulders too. And I guess I walk like this as a lower body and an upper body workout, and I'll be confident taking action and I'll get excited. But then I'll stop and be like, nope, I haven't gotten as far as I wanted. What's up with that? And I'll start second guessing my actions and being like, maybe I should just quit on my dreams and do something that's easy. And all of that second guessing and debating if I'm on the right course can take lots of time. And not that you or I shouldn't debate if we're on the right course and think about it, but to just stop and say, how about something totally different, something easier could send me off in another direction, or me fearful and become more reactionary than creative. So next year I want to really focus on assessing my progress as I move forward instead of stopping for days or weeks to obsess assess my progress and overanalyzing, and you know that cycle where you make your world smaller instead of expanding it. So those are a few ideas on that question. And is it a definitive answer on that question for my life? No. But is the answer I have in the moment. So moving on to the next question. Okay, that could have been a little more seamless, but it wasn't. Oh well. What do I do what do I presently do that demotivates me and distracts me from what I truly want to do? I guess I covered some of that in the last answer, but another habit I have is criticizing myself and my mind for taking time off and time to relax and time to enjoy life. And doing those things truly motivate me and fill up my well and make it so when I come to sit down to work, I have an abundance to give to the work. But if I criticize myself for taking time off and relaxing, I'm not getting the full benefit of that time because because I'm making that time more expensive than it needs to be by criticizing myself for taking that time. So why not just take the time and and say I love it. I love that I went to see an amazing play last week. On Sunday, I've had the Thomas, who I'll be interviewing next week. And, just really love my leisure activities and love that I took the time to do them instead of doing them and regretting doing them. Did that make sense? I'm asking me as much as you because I've in the cycle of leisure activities and then criticizing me for them. So it'd be nice to break this habit. So next question, and next question. Oh, you can't see it yet. Do I chat? What habitual pet, and it's not edited well, but bear with me. What habitual pattern do I routinely engage in that demotivate me and distract me from what I truly want to do? That's about the same as the last question. And in this, I mean, questioning ourselves isn't a seamless process. It's not something we rehearsed before. It's new material. It doesn't need to be perfect. So often we stop ourselves from doing work like this by holding it to a perfect standard, and if we want new information to come in, information that we haven't considered before, it's not going to be perfect because it's new. We haven't done it 100 times. So how am I using my stories of my past to limit what I perceive as possible for me in the future? Throughout my life, I've had big stories about my disability, about what I can accomplish in a day, a week, a year, or a lifetime. And actually, I've had two different classes of stories. This is interesting. I've had really stories that demoralize me about the past, like when I think of being athletic, and especially playing competitive team sports, I'm like, I might think that thought, but then I might think, whoa, no, remember sixth grade when you never scored a point all season and caught a lot of basketballs with your glasses? You don't even consider playing team sports. And then I have the other type of story that goes that goes that that is really grandiose, like hey Jason, and the next year you can make $50 million and speak to hundreds if not thousands of audiences live and on and on, just a story that's so far beyond where I am that it seems overwhelming and unattainable. But what and in between the two stories, I can create stories like the sixth grade stories that convince me not to take action, or the grandiose story which I can keep looking at and say, oh, I have no idea how to make $50 million this year, so I might as well take the day or the week off. So those two types of stories that I've told myself don't inspire daily action. But what about the story of, hey, Jason, hey, you woke up this morning. You can make a list of what you want to do today. You can organize it, and you can start doing it, and you can actively participate in doing the things on that list and see where you're at the end of the day. And that Mel story is definitely not as demoralizing as the sixth grade basketball story, but also is not nearly as grandiose as $50 million in the next year story. It's somewhere in between. It's humble, but is doable. It's a story I can get off the sidelines of my life and pursue. And I'm still learning more about energizing myself with these middle stories, these middle of the road stories, and I learn more about them each day. But I feel far more empowered by these middle of the road stories than stories I told and burdened myself with in the past. Next question. Look at that, it's becoming more seamless. Yay. Yeah, I enjoy that. How are my perspectives serving me? About 10, 12, 13, I don't know how long ago I started intentionally using my voice as a in my coordination as a gift instead of limit. And and my life has radically changed. And it's tempting to say, I am actually my friend Ian Lucas helped me to discover that perspective on my disability, that it was a burden, that it was a limit, that it was heavy, and change it to using my disability as a gift. And it's tempting for me to say, well, I've done that now. I can just coast along in life using my disability as a gift, and isn't that so fun? But I have perspectives on countless things, just as we all do, and some of those perspectives are serving me, and some of them are not. Another perspective I know that needs that could use updating is perspective, a perspective around my romantic life. Basically, my perspective right now is I don't have a romantic life. I don't have a special woman in my life. I don't have a girlfriend in my life right now, and my perspective is I enjoy being single, and that I'm open to amazing romance in my life. But hey, Tim, so good to see you, my friend. Thank you. I like being single, and I'm open to a wonderful woman coming into my life. But beyond that, there's not much I can do. Other than way around. Love, yeah, talking about love, paging love, and whenever we notice there's just not much about this. Whenever we notice ourselves thinking there's just not much about the thing I can do other than wait, that could be a bit of a red flag, a sign that maybe what could we tweak in that? So a simple perspective change for me on romance would be I'm growing into more myself each day. I'm becoming more confident each day. I'm becoming more comfortable in my own skin each day, and given that these things are happening, of course, I'm moving towards meeting a woman I love romantically, and a woman who loves me romantically, of course. the other perspective, or I don't know if it's perspective, but it's an option to my game in terms of, do I want to be on a dating site? Do I want to do speed dating? Do I want to join more clubs? And I will still be waiting for a romantic partner until I find one. But as I wait, I can do more if I so choose. Where in your life, or I am asking myself questions, so I'm sorry I'm getting into motivational speaker mode. Where else in my life am I waiting instead of doing anything to move forward? And my first response is maybe you can stand outside with a red flag that says patient love. Yeah, that'd be one way of now waiting. That's one possibility. Thanks, Tim. And I love possibilities like that. My first reaction is, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to stand out in front of a Walmart by the person ringing the Salvation Army bell with a red flag that says paging love, searching for a girlfriend. I mean, that's just not what I'm going to do. But what part of Tim's suggestion might be exciting? Instead of saying no, what part of it might be exciting, and what could I do? I mean, part of what Tim's saying is making myself more visible as someone who wants to date. Like, when's the last time I said on social media, hey, I'm single, I'm happy being single, but I'm also looking for a special someone, just to put the word out there. I haven't posted anything like that on social media for since maybe 2018. That's a long time. That's a long time for a single guy not to let people know that he's looking for a romantic partner. That's a long time. And that would be easier than even easier than doing a profile on a dating site, a speed dating. So Tim's idea, which I'm not going to probably do in this form, made me realize that, what about if I just simply post about this a little more on social media and just see what happens. See if anyone has any ideas. Not that I need anyone to have ideas. I'm happy being single, but why not post about it? So yeah, and then also, what other perspectives besides around my dating life aren't serving me? Definitely perspectives around playing a musical instrument. And my perspective is basically can be summed up in 2 words. I can't. I guess more words. I can't, so I don't. 5 words. I can't, so I don't. Which basically ensures that I'll never develop any talent with playing a musical instrument. And when did I conclude this? Speaking of old stories, in music class in 4th grade, I was required to learn to play the recorder. And I thought it was an absolutely miserable experience. I didn't like the sound the recorder make. I didn't like the smell of a recorder because like I wouldn't clean it properly, so it would smell, which is gross. I and I thought I was awful at playing the recorder, and I used my thought that I was awful playing the recorder as an excuse to practice less and less. So I didn't develop my skills. Tim asked a great question. Do you want to learn to play any musical instruments? No, and that's a great question. To do something new that's challenging, we got to be motivated because people who become good at playing musical instruments are brilliant, as Tim is with playing the piano. They are inspired to do it, and this inspiration helps them practice. At the moment, I'm not inspired to play any musical instruments. I mean, probably the most likely candidates would be guitar, which sounds vaguely fun, or the piano, which sounds vaguely fun too. But vaguely fun is not enough motivation at this point. So maybe the perspective adjustment I want as of today is going from there's no way I can play a musical instrument to I could learn to play a musical instrument if I was inspired to. Going from something being a definite no to something being a possibility is headway, is progress, and sometimes that's all we're willing to do. I mean, on this, that's all I'm willing to do. I'm not inspired to to even watch one YouTube video right now on playing the piano or playing the guitar. I'm just not. Of course, I could say, based on this conversation, I commit to watching a YouTube video on playing the piano, but I'm not interested in making that commitment. So why burden myself with making commitments that I'm not interested in following through on? Oh gosh, I'm learning a lot from this conversation and asking myself questions, and it's not things I expected to learn. Like I didn't no idea that I would talk about musical instruments today. I mean, that isn't even remotely on my radar. Yet it was an interesting conversation. If when you engage in this, if you're inspired to prepare to surprise yourself. Prepare to surprise yourself. If you think, as I have in the past, that your life is totally fixed, that you can't really grow much, that you know everything there is to know about yourself. Well, why do this? Why ask questions and why listen for answers? It would just be, and I'm becoming unbuttoned. It would just be not a good use of time. But if you're like, wow, I can find out new things not only about other people, not only about my friends and family by asking them questions, but by myself, and I can use this information to grow and to inspire myself to reach for my dreams. Yeah, then this becomes fun. And again, I emphasize, maybe if you do this, collect the questions like during a week beforehand or a few weeks, and maybe just jot them down as you think of them. And then when you go to do this, I would encourage you to do them all out of order, because you want surprise to be part of it, part of this process, and there's different ways of recording your answers, like I'm doing now. You could make a video of yourself talking and asking yourself the questions and giving the answers, which is actually pretty fun, and I think it creates different answers. Think of different answers. Maybe if you just have the freedom to talk versus writing the answers down longhand or typing them out. So I would almost be in favor of doing this and rewatching the video to plumb what you want from it, and then take notes of what inspires you and intrigues you and what you remember about your answers. And I'm doing this for an hour because my awkwardly awesome podcast is an hour. Maybe it'd be more manageable to, like, say, give yourself an assignment. Say, oh, over the next 2 weeks, I'll think of 5 unique questions I want to ask myself, and then I'll sit down and make a video until I answer all of them. And if that video takes 10 minutes, great. If it takes half an hour, great. But there's nothing magical about doing it for an hour. Yeah, that's awesome. I said, before I asked my own question. What do I truly love to do? I love talking to people. I love meeting new people. I love taking photographs of anything and everything, outdoor photographs, photographs of nature. I love especially taking photographs around small towns, but I also love taking indoor photographs. I love writing. My daily writing, which I convert into blog posts sometimes, and sometimes I ask questions of the writing and get answers from the writing. I love writing. I love posting on Facebook. I love speaking to audiences and inspiring them to remember that they had the power to persevere and not to give up on their dreams, but to take steps towards them each day. I love speaking at such a rush. I love coaching people. There's so much I love to do. Oh, I love life. Okay. I had the questions coming seamlessly for a while, but that one didn't take long to answer. That's another thing. Some questions you ask yourself, you'll answer quickly. Also, maybe you ask a question and you spend an hour answering it, and you're like, "Oh gosh, this is not enough time." So then you spend more hours answering it. There's what I'm doing is not a science, at least not when I figured out, but I'm just going with how it's interesting to me in learning as I go and actually making this up as I go. Like this is the game. This is a game of asking myself questions, and I thought of the game, and now I'm creating it as I go. And I encourage you to do that with this process or other processes if it's appropriate. I mean, try to use more of your creative ability. It's just fun. What is the best I am seeking in life? I often say I hope to, I'm speaking to millions of people in my lifetime and inspiring millions of people. Which which is like I was talking about before, is a grandiose best. It's and having a big grandiose goals is awesome. I'm all in favor of it. I love going toward that big goal, but there's also questions like what is the best I'm seeking today? What is the best I'm seeking in the next week? What is the best I'm seeking in the next hour? Like right now, I'm focused on giving my best to this podcast, which is challenging for me. I mean, just as I've never done this format before, I've and not that many years ago, if you had asked me, "Hey, Jason, do you want to speak for an hour with no live audience in front of you?" I would have been like, "No, I don't want to hear myself talk for an hour." And before that, at a certain point in my life, I wouldn't have spoke, done a podcast myself or spoken to the live audience myself. I wouldn't have saw that stuff out. Michael Evans, you'll always be Mike to me, Michael. Since we've known each other so long, says taking inventory of yourself is difficult work. It's so true. This hasn't been the easiest hour of my life. It's been challenging, and challenging is okay. Challenging is really very okay. There was a time in my life that I thought everything should come easily. I don't know why I thought this. Was it something I got from watching sports or things on TV where people make it look so easy? What was it? Just my own laziness? Was it fear if I tried to do something and failed, I would waste time? But I don't know. But now I realize that so much of life is challenging and often immensely challenging, and especially immensely challenging if we want to do anything consistently, like develop a consistent meditation practice or a consistent exercise practice or a consistent creative practice. It's really challenging at many points, and that's okay. It's okay that work is difficult, and that's okay. Thanks much, Michael, Michael Evans. And one more question. Oh, this is a good one. and the seamless question posting is not with me at the moment. Thanks for your patience. I paused a lot, and some of that may have to do with a speech impediment. Some of it may just be an unfortunate habit which I'm trying to change, and some of it sometimes is being disorganized. So last two questions. How do I deal with uncertainty? I used to hate it, and I used to go to war with it and think it shouldn't be. Now I'm realizing that, hey, the fact is that life is very uncertain. It's just how life is. It just is how life is. And uncertainty can extend from the minor stuff, like I don't know what the weather is going to do in South Dakota in the next hour, to huge stuff like I have no idea exactly of when I will die. I hope I will love, and I hope for it to be a long time from now, like 50 or 70 or 100 years, because I love life, but I have no idea. And to really admit that we're surrounded by uncertainty, and that's okay, and to not let all the uncertainty derail us from what we want to do in life, from taking a next step. That's what I'm trying to. One of the things I'm trying to practice. So I am trying to deal with uncertainty better and better. In the last question I'll ask myself, and it just occurred to me that I better ask this, because I ask all my guests is what does doing my imperfect best as mean to me? What does doing my imperfect best mean to me? I ask all my podcast guests this, and I usually give the answer I usually typically give it as an example. I usually say something about envisioning my best, and then when imperfections come up, learning from them and using that learning to move forward instead of quitting and stopping the dream. But what else does doing my imperfect best mean to me? It means coming to life with an attitude of humility, because like there's so much I don't know. There's so many skills I haven't developed. There's just endless things to do in life, and there's no way to become perfect at them all. Life is vast, and it's an honor to live a tiny part of it. And so I'm coming at life with the attitude of humility, but also a profound attitude of appreciation. When I look at my accomplishments, being able to say, yeah, well, I've done my imperfect best, and that's good. Can I learn from the imperfect best I've done in the past and grow and improve and change? Of course, but I've done my imperfect best, and that's really good. I've done my imperfect best, and that's really good. Well, thanks for tuning into this unusual podcast today. I actually enjoy spending an hour with my guest who was me, and you might be like, Jason, but you're with yourself 24/7. What kind of big deal is that? But I guess I enjoy spending time with myself in this intentional way, and I learned so much from the process, and I'm actually inspired to do this again, and I encourage you as I encourage you each week to ask curious questions of the people around you, even your family and friends, the people you think you know the best, and really listen to the answers and ask follow-up questions and get excited about other people's lives. But also I encourage you, and I encourage me to, in 2023, get excited about our own lives on a new level, to ask ourselves interesting questions and listen for the answers. And even though, yeah, it might be an awkward process at first, to stick with it as much as you have patience for. Well, thanks for tuning in. If you're tuning in live or watching the replay later, my guest next week is Jenny Thrasher, and we'll be talking about the important subjects of embracing the holidays on our own terms. Because talk about expectations, there's so many expectations that get built up around the holidays, but what would it be like to embrace them on our own terms? Please tune in next week. Thanks for tuning in this week, and have a wonderful rest of your week.